Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. It's absolutely baking in the UK right now, absolutely baking. And to top it all off, we have the start of the inaugural 100 competition. So, for those of you who don't know, it's the UK, well, England's twist on a franchise, and it's the 100 ball tournament. So, it's 100 ball innings, essentially split into 25 ball overs. I'm going to go over the format first for those of you who don't know. And if you're watching, this is not going to be a super long video. It's going to be very quickly for those of you who want information on the 100, how it works, the format, the table, and then a very quick look through the teams. As you can see, I've got like Trent Rockets up at the moment. I'm not going to go through every single player. I'm just going to pick out a few players and say, okay, these are the guys potentially to look out for. Okay, and who I think potentially might do well. And that's it really, because I don't want to do a very deep dive into it. It's a new tournament and it's very difficult, I think, to give such an expert opinion on it, really, because we don't know exactly how it's going to play out. So let's see. But exciting times, to be fair. So, look, I mean, for those of you who don't know, as I said, it's a 100 ball tournament, and we're going to go over some of the teams are also 8 city-based teams: London Spirit, Oval Invincibles, Southern Brave, Welsh Fire, Birmingham Phoenix, Trent Rockets, Manchester Originals, and Northern Superchargers. I've actually interviewed a few people from some of these teams, especially Birmingham Phoenix, Daniel Bell Drummond and Benny Howe in the past. Obviously, Daniel Bell Drummond plays for Kent and Benny Howe plays for Gloucestershire. Both on the channel. Go and check it out. It's on the cricket interview playlist on the channel. I think the best thing about this really is the fact that we're going to have the men and women playing side by side in the sense that, they're playing at the same time as double headers on days, and it's fantastic. So they've picked 2 squads of 15 of domestic and international players. A couple of the people who you may be looking at as standouts, from the England World Cup winning side, like Owen Morgan, Jason Ronaldo-Street obviously will be playing, and from the England women's squad, Heather Knight, Sophie Eccleston. In terms of, there will be some England players, though, unfortunately will clash with the India series because of the rescheduling of it because of the pandemic, etc. So Joe Root, Ben Stokes, and Josh Butler will only play 2 games, potentially making the final as well if their team makes it to that final. In terms of overseas players, India sensation Shafali Verma, who's an Indian, fantastic batsman, incredible player. So and it's interesting because obviously in the IPL, they don't actually allow Indian players to play in other franchises. So she somehow got permission to do it. But it's going to, hopefully, it opens the floodgates for other Indian players to come and play in like the 100 or the CPL or the PSL. You know what I mean? It'd be nice. Afghanistan, obviously, spinner Rashid Khan, who's an unbelievable, one of the best T20 players around, howling in the 100. Let's see. And Quinton de Kock are a couple of the standouts. Obviously, it's got a split pin. We already know that. But how will it work? So, as I said, it's 100 ball innings, essentially split into 25 ball overs. In terms of how it's going to open up. So today actually is Wednesday. It was the first game. It's going to be the Oval Invincibles against the Manchester Originals. That's in the women's competition. Then tomorrow it'll be the same matchup for the men's. However, after that, they will be playing on the same day. So it'll be the same teams obviously competing, like Oval Invincibles, Manchester Originals, for example, and they will play, say, in the afternoon, and then the kind of afternoon to evening game, the day-night game will be the men's, from what I've seen in the schedule anyway. All teams will play each other out at least once in the group stage. We'll play each other once in the group stage, apart from their paired rivals who will play each other twice. So I'm not exactly sure about that paired rivals. I mean, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm having a look through the rules and stuff and trying to get to grips with them as well, because it's a different format, right? So, and you guys will know that we cover a lot on the channel. So to try and get my head around everything is difficult, but it looks interesting. The team that finishes top of the table will progress to the final. And the second and third place teams will meet in the eliminators on 20th of August. Okay. So it sounds similar to like the IPL or PSL, except normally it's the top 4 teams, but here it's only the top 3 teams who then battle out. And then obviously you've got the team that finishes at the top of the table will go straight to the final. Okay, fine. All right, fair enough. Second and third will obviously meet in a semi-final, I guess, if you want to call it like that, or eliminator, and then whoever wins that will go into the final. So to be fair, it's a lot less complicated than the IPL and PSL, where you have a different format where it's the top two go through, and then they play, and whoever wins that then goes to the final, and then whoever loses that plays against the winner of the second eliminator, who's third against fourth. So this is a bit better, actually, I think, in terms of just simplicity, and I guess they're trying to gather an audience that is of younger, I guess, a younger demographic. So the way to do that is to make it a bit more simplistic, I guess. So I don't mind that. The eliminators are on the 20th of August, so that's fine. Interesting. All 5 balls. So this is interesting. Now these are the rules. All 5 balls are delivered by the same bowler, but a captain can choose to continue with the same bowler for 10 consecutive balls. But then, how many overs can this bowler bowl? Is interesting. Is what I want to know. It's not here. Interesting. But a captain can choose to continue with the same bowler for 10 consecutive balls, as I said. So that's interesting. So technically, I guess you could bowl 1 over and then say, "Oh, the Rashid bowls really well." You just say, "Well, we're gonna. Here you go. You can continue." But will they switch ends and bowl from the other end, or do they continue from the same end? I don't know. Like, we're gonna have to see, right? This is what I mean. Like, this is interesting stuff. Like, I have absolutely no idea. So, it's stuff like this where you just think, "Oh, okay, that's an interesting rule." But like, are they going to switch ends like they would for an all over, or is it going to continue from the same end? Like, we play a domestic T20 stuff, which is a T20, slam, for example, and what's a domestic stuff. And you have 10 overs from one end, 10 overs to the other end, just basically to enable the match to finish as quickly as possible, because it's normally in evenings, and because of light, etc., you want to make sure that it gets done in an as efficient way as possible. So, okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Like, let's see how this goes. I'm interested to see how that all works. But so yeah, let's have a look. So each bowler can deliver a maximum of 20 balls per game. So technically 4 overs, I guess. Interesting. The fielding side changes ends after 10 balls. That's interesting. So the fielding side changes ends after 2 overs. So that's interesting. That's a weird one to me, actually. But okay. So whoever scores the most runs wins. Okay, that's fine. That's pretty much everything. The fielding side change ends after 10 balls. So you have 2 overs, and you change ends. 2 overs, change ends. Okay. And I guess that the reason they're doing that is because they have this rule where the bowler delivers either 5 or 10 consecutive balls. So, and the captain obviously decides. That's so interesting. And each bowler, as I said, he had 20 balls per game or 4 overs. Each bowling side gets a strategic timeout of up to 2 minutes. Okay. That's pretty normal. The coach can walk out to the middle of the ground and discuss tactics with their players mid-game. What? That's fair enough. The 25 ball power play for each team, so that's a quarter of the innings. 2 fielders are allowed outside of the initial 30-yard circle during the power play. Okay, that's fine. And game length, yeah, we don't care about the game length. That's fine. Okay, that's pretty simple, to be fair. I have to say, it's pretty simple. The fielding team will be punished by having 1 fewer fielder allowed outside the inner circle if they fall behind the allotted time. Oh, interesting. There's a penalty for not being quick enough, because matches will last 2.5 hours with each inning, 65 minutes. If you don't do it within that 65 minutes, the fielding team will be punished by having 1 fewer fielder allowed outside the inner circle if they fall behind that allotted time. Oh, that's cool. Right, okay. Enough of that. Let's go through the team. So I've briefly gone through the rules. If you do have any questions or comments or anything to add, please do put it in the comments below. Okay, we've already gone on nearly 10 minutes. I don't want to go too much longer on this. So we're gonna whiz through the teams, and then I'm gonna kind of give you my thoughts. So Trent Rockets to start with that. Obviously, we can look through this. Joe Root, Rashid Khan, Darcy Short, Alex Hales. I mean, most of you guys will know these guys. Joe Root, I mean, if you don't know him, then why are you watching this video? Rashid Khan as well. I mean, he's the marquee player, probably one of the marquee players of the tournament. Alex Hales, huge hitter. Obviously, issues with England, etc. Darcy Short, former Aussie international, hasn't played in a little bit of time. Lewis Gregory in fantastic form down in Milan, obviously number one T20 batsman at the moment. Wahab Riaz, Pakistani left arm pacer. Stephen Milani, who's a domestic player, very good player for Notts. Tom Moore's good wicketkeeper for Notts as well, and can whack as well. Luke Wood, Luke Wright, Ben Cox, Sam Patel, left arm all rounder, left arm spinner, and right hand bat all rounder. Very, very useful in T20 stuff. And to be honest with you, if you don't know him, you should probably look him up because he's played for England before. In the women's, Nat Skyver, Catherine Brunt, for me, they are the kind of marquee players, and that's why they're at the top of that list there. Catherine Bryce as well, good player. So they've got an interesting little squad there as well. Trent Rockets they look okay. They look right. I wouldn't say they've got amazing strength and depth in the side, but they're okay. They're okay. Let's have a look through the others. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't looked through the squads in details. This is my first time looking at them as well, so it's interesting. This is my kind of unfiltered and original reaction to these teams. Okay, for the men, Jofra Archer, quality, Southern Brave, Holland de Grandome. What a hairdo, eh? What a Barnett. Danny Briggs, left arm spinner, useful. James Vince, very good T20 player. Liam Dawson, left arm spinner as well. So they've got two left arm spinners, and that's interesting. That could be useful. Chris Jordan, a fantastic death ball bowler. Tymon Mills, Sussex, compatriots, and also Jofra Archer, three Sussex boys in there. I'll tell you what, they'll bowl well together in tandem because they're so used to each other, and they're all gun field. Well, Jofra Archer and Chris Jordan are gun fielders. Tymon Mills as well. I think he's a pretty good fielder. He's not as gun as those two, but he's a decent fielder. All three got pace. It's good. That's a damn good pace attack. They've got Delray Rawlins, Alex Davis, George Garton, good little bowler as well. Craig Overton, he'll be good in this competition in English conditions. As we've seen, he can whack a little bit as well. Devon Coleman, my boy, what a bat. Quinton de Kock. So far out of the two teams, this is a quality team. Devon Conway and Quinton de Kock to open up. Mate, then you've got James Vince at 3. Who have you got for? Maybe Alex Davis? Oh, mate. And then you've got Jofra Archer, Chris Jordan, Tymon Mills. You've got Liam Dawson bat as well. And he obviously will bowl. Danny Briggs. They've got a good side. George Garton as well. Craig Overton. They're stacked. That's a good side. In the women's, they've got Anya Shrubsole. Quality player. Danny Wyatt, very good player as well. Stephanie Taylor. So they've got some good little players in there as well. The women's side looks pretty good as well. So Southern Brave in general look good. For Northern Superchargers, Ben Stokes, incredible contracted player. Okay, fair enough. Faf du Plessis, Mujiba Rahman, Chris Lynn, Alder Rashid, Adam Live, David Willey, Tom Collick, Hadmore, Bryden Cast, John Simpson. Okay, mate, from here to here, that's quality. That is quality. Ben Stokes, obviously, we know what he's about. Yeah, hasn't really done it too much in the T20 internationals, but he's shown his worth in the IPL at times as well. And we know he's quality, so it's fine. But he will only be playing 2 games, most likely, and potentially the final. So let's look to the others, I guess. Faf du Plessis, even, sorry. Actually, that's worth mentioning. The same for Jofra Archer. Although it says he's England contracted, not England Red Bull contracted. It's the same for Joe Root. That's weird. I don't know. Anyway. Faf du Plessis, Mujiba Rahman, Chris Lynn, and Alder Rashid will get bucket loads of wickets here. Telling you now. No idea why he's never been picked up for the IPL. He should have been picked up in the... why have the PSL, for example, not tried to pick him up? CPL, he's so good. Pick him up. One of the best spinners in the world in white ball cricket, if not the best spinner in white ball cricket. Faf du Plessis, quality. Mujiba Rahman, unbelievable. I didn't have a fantastic PSL, but I think he maybe is getting figured out a little bit. Let's see. But he's on his day, quality. Chris Lynn whacks at the top. Chris Lynn, Adam Live at the top. They could be 100. For no wicket off. Oh, this is in balls though, isn't it? 50 balls, for example. Kristen, Adam Life, if they get going, mate, those guys can hit a long ball. Kristen and Adam Life. Dave Willey can whack, but he is obviously in there for his left arm seam to open up, gets the ball to swing early doors. And we've seen that in the recent T20s against Pakistan. Tom Collick Hadmore is an exciting player from Yorkshire, playing this in the PSL as well, actually, recently, and looked pretty good. He looked pretty good. Bryden Cast, we saw his worth in the ODIs recently. Good pace, hits the splice of the bat, and also will be going just all out. Really, I mean, I can imagine he's going to break that 90 mile per hour barrier mark pretty easily throughout, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. John Simpson, very good keeper. Harry Brook as well. That's another youngster. Callum Parkinson. So Matt Parkinson's brother is a left arm off spinner, so left arm orthodox. He's a decent bowler. For the women, Laura Winfield Hill, Katie Levesque, Holly Armitage. Okay. And a few others, and then interesting. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you, I just may as well just be honest. My knowledge of the women's game is very limited. So me looking through this, I know maybe like a quarter to half the names depending on the team, but it's not as good as the men's. I just haven't grown up watching, unfortunately. But as I get older and the women's game has become more prominent, like I get more and more in tune with the women's game and its quality. So if you're younger and you're watching this, go and do your research on them. Go and watch the games because their quality. My younger brother actually played against someone who's going to be playing in the 100. In fact, let me see. Is she here? She's playing in the 100. I've forgotten her name. He played against her in a kind of. So you have trust games here in the UK, which is like under 21s, but it's a really high level, and you're allowed a couple of senior players. She's only 19, and she plays for Surrey women's, and she was opening the batting, and she's also bowls wheels, so she didn't bowl, I think, because they held her back and said maybe you shouldn't bowl. But she was whacking him a little bit, let's say. But I mean, she is a quality player, so it just shows, though, doesn't it? Like people, anyone that says that it's not quality, you don't know what you're talking about. Of course, it's quality. These guys and girls are unbelievably skilled. So let's support both of them, and it's fantastic that they're playing on the same day, and we're having this transparency with it, saying, look, we're going to support both equally, and we want to make sure that there's eyes on both the men's and women's, and it's fantastic the women are starting us off, to be honest with you, genuinely. Welsh Fire, Ollie Pope, Johnny Bester, Tom Banton, Ben Duckett, Case Ahmed, Liam Plunkett, David Payne, Ryan Higgins, Glenn Phillips, Jimmy Neesham, Jake. What the heck? This is stacked again. Ollie Pope to Jimmy Neesham. Okay, sorry. Ollie Pope to Jake Ball. First 3 games, fine. But Glenn Phillips, he is a pick and a half. He will tee off from New Zealand just like Devon Conway, but he just whacks it for Gloucestershire and the T20 Blast so far this year. He is ballistic. Liam Plunkett, we know what he's about. Case I'm a fantastic Afghani leg spinner. Ben Duckett can whack. Tom Banton scored 100 in the T20 Blast this year. He can whack. Johnny Besto, do I need to say anything more? Quality. One of the best white ball batsmen around at the moment. Ollie Pope, yes, hasn't played any white ball stuff for England, but for Surrey, he's very good. So eventually he might get into the white ball squad, although it's so strong for England, and he is very talented as well in the shorter formats. David Payne, left armour, very useful. Ryan Higgins as well. And Jimmy Neesham, we know what he's about. Jake Ball's got pace about him, so very interesting. For the women, Alex Griffiths, Georgia Hennessy, Laura Phillips. So interesting. They've got another interesting Sarah Taylor as well in there. Is that the Sarah Taylor? No, can't be. She retired, no? Well, Oval Invincibles. Sam Curran, Rory Burns. Rory Burns, though, in this format, like, what's he going to do? He's okay, but not a massive fan. Sunil Ryan, that's a good pick. That's a very good pick. Jason Roy, man, he'll whack it, won't he? Sam Billings, we know as well. Tom Curran, Sandeep Lamachani, leg spinner, really useful. Reece Topley, Will Jacks, Laurie Evans. Laurie Evans just whacks it. Reece Topley, good variation. Will Jacks, good off spin, and also will whack it at the top of the order. So that's very useful. Sarkar Mahmood as well. He bowls wheels, as we saw recently. Colin Ingram can whack, and Jordan Clark is a decent bowler for Surrey. And Jordan Cox can bat very well. For the women, Fran Wilson, Georgia Adams, Tash Farrant. Okay, interesting. Let me just check. Sorry, I'm going a bit rogue here. No. Anyway. So we've got Oval Invincibles. I think Manchester Originals. Is that the last one? No, we've got London Spirit. So fine. Manchester Originals. Joss Butler. By the way, that's 3 Southern teams. We've got London Spirit, Southern Brave, and Oval Invincibles. Isn't that a bit strange? Why are there 3 teams in the South? like basically around London. Anyway, doesn't matter. Bizarre. Manchester Originals, Joss Butler, England contracted, obviously. Yep, Phil Salt, man, we saw him. He will just go from ball one. He did it in ODIs, and he's a good T20 player as well. Played well in the PSL in bits and pieces for Osama United, some fantastic knocks, and he's good. He's a good player. Matt Parkinson will be vital with his leg spin. Joe Clark, what a talent, Joe Clark for Nottinghamshire. He just is incredible. Hasn't played for England because of personal reasons, really, nothing else. Sam Hain, if you've watched my videos with the cricket connoisseur, Aaron, he absolutely loves Sam Hain from Warwickshire, and rightly so, because he is supremely talented. Unfortunate to not have gotten a England call up yet, but he will soon, I'm sure. Colin Munro, even, sorry, fantastic bat. Lockie Ferguson, incredible pace. Oh, just express pace as well. He is quality personified, Lockie Ferguson. Jamie Overton, good bowler and can bat as well now. Carlos Brathwaite, the same. Will give you something with the ball and also can hit at the bottom. Well, I say bottom, at the lower to middle order as a finisher. Stephen Finn doesn't really have the pace he once did, but he's still a very useful bowler. And Ollie Robinson, who, yeah, obviously had his problems recently, but fantastic bowler. So that will be a good little addition as well. Alex Hartley, Sophie Eccleston, Kate Cross, Daniel Collins. So some good players in there for them as well. For Manchester Originals, for London Spirit, Zach Crawley, Josh Inglis. Okay, interesting. Owen Morgan, Mohammed Nabi, Mohammed Amir. So he's playing in it. Interesting. Obviously hasn't been picked up by Pakistan in the tour game, so he's playing. Interesting to see how he does, actually, because this could be a very, very good time for him to step up, bowl well, and then say, I should be in the T20 squad. But enough of that for the World Cup. Mark Wood, Joe Denley, Dan Lawrence, Mason Crane, Jay Dernbach's in there, Vander Merwe, Ravi Bapara, Chris. That's good. Zach Crawley, obviously, will probably only be available for the first two games. Morgan, we know what he's about. Quality experience. Mohammed Nabi, quality experience. And doesn't just hit it in the middle order. Fantastic off spinner as well. Mohammed Amir will be, on his days, is quality. In English conditions, he should be very good. As we saw in the Champions Trophy in 2017. Also in the World Cup in 2019, he was okay, to be fair. But look, in T20 stuff, I think he will get wickets. And in addition to Jay Dernbach, Mark Wood, who's just absolute wheels, that will be very interesting. Joe Denley, obviously, will be batting towards the top and can also give you some leg spin. Same with Dan Lawrence, will be batting probably middle order, but can give you, or potentially to top, depending, because of T20, I guess. And also will give you some off spin potentially if you want it. Mason Crane, decent leg spinner. Vander Merwe, decent spinner as well. Very experienced. Ravi Bapara, fantastic all-round capability. So they've got some good plays in there with a lot of flexibility and also versatility in that team. Heather Knight, fantastic player. Who else they've got? They've got DeAndre Dottin, that's cool. Naomi Datani, so that's two overseas players, if I'm not mistaken, or I could be wrong. Tammy Beaumont. Okay. Birmingham Phoenix, Chris Wokes, Dom Sibley, Liam Livingston, Moin Ali, Miles Hammond, Benny Howe, Tom Helm, Adam Milne, Pat Brown, Adam Hose, Imran Dar here. We've got Daniel Drummond, who I've interviewed. Finn Allen, what a talented Kiwi player. Unbelievable. Tom Abel, really talented as well from Somerset. Imran Dar, we know what he's about. Fantastic experience, leg spinner from South Africa. Pat Brown, really experienced from, well, not very talented bowler from Worcestershire. Opens the bowling, very good mix-ups and change-ups even, sorry. Adam Milne, wheels. Tom Helm, very, very exciting prospect. Benny Howe, who I've interviewed, go and check it out. Unbelievable kind of depth and variations with his different slower balls. Can whack it as well. Very, very talented and definitely one of the guys who revolutionised T20 cricket from the UK. Moin Ali, love Moin Ali, but he'll be crucial. He's the captain with his off spin and also, of course, his hitting in the middle order at 4 or whatever he wants to bat, 3 or 4. Like, he will be crucial. Liam Livingston as well, proving that he will definitely be making a claim for a spot in that World Cup squad. Not just squad, potentially the 11 as well. Some unbelievable hitting in the recent series against Pakistan. And can also bowl a little bit of dibbly-dobblies, off-spin, leg spin. Yes, in international stage, I don't know if it's quite good enough, but in domestic and franchise stuff, it will do the job. I'll tell you that. Dom Sibley, don't know how well he's going to do in a 100-ball competition, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Let's see. And Chris Wokes, I mean, he will do well. Unbelievable player. bowler and batsman as well. He'll do very, very well. Just talented. Shafali Verma is the overseas. Amy Mack, Amy Jones. So yeah, good little lineup there. So in terms of the team that I'm thinking, Birmingham Phoenix have got a pretty good side. I'm gonna look through who's my favourites though. Who's my favourite before we wrap this up? Things I've got to take into account that obviously, like for example, Josh Butler is not going to be there for the whole tournament, for example. But they've got a damn good side. Manchester Originals. That's a really, really good side. Who else have we got? Oh, Invincibles. They've got a pretty good side as well. Pretty good side as well. Welsh Fire. Yeah. Okay. Northern Superchargers. Southern Brave. I'm going to go Southern Brave. It depends, though, right? If Joff Archer's fit, I don't know. Is it Southern Brave? Yeah, Southern Brave. Southern Brave or Trent Rockets potentially, but Southern Brave I'm going to go for. Okay. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Please remember to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, can't wait for the 100. It's going to be fantastic. Thank